Hey, what's up? Crystal River Archaeological State Park is a 61-acre site that preserves the remains of a prehistoric Native American settlement. It is one of the longest continuously occupied sites in Florida, dating back to about 500 BCE. The park is a National Historic Landmark and features 6 mounds, a large plaza, a nice museum, and a scenic riverfront. As we walk around the park, I will explain the history and significance of each site. Let's start with the museum, where we can learn more about the people who lived here and see some of the artifacts they left behind. The museum has exhibits and displays that tell the story of the Crystal River site and its inhabitants. You can see examples of pottery, tools, jewelry, and copper items that were traded from faraway places. You can also watch a video to learn about the daily life of the ancient Native Americans. After visiting the museum, we can head to the trail that leads to the mounds. The trail is about a mile long and has interpretive signs along the way. The ancient native peoples who built these mounds lived at Crystal River for over 1,000 years, from 100 BCE to 1050 CE. Walk with me towards the plaza, a place where villagers or commoners could gather and attend special events. The area is large enough to hold thousands of people, and just like in our communities today, people gather in the town square or their city park for special events. Perhaps the people traveled for many days to meet at Crystal River to socialize, trade their goods, or attend religious ceremonies. Some of the ceremonies were certainly related to the burial of the dead. The central burial complex contained the oldest and the majority of 1,500 burials on site. Many of the people buried in this mound had copper tools and ornaments buried with them. The copper artifacts came from the Ohio River area through a trade network developed by the Hopewell culture that existed at the time. Mound G is a circular mound of shells and sand that was used as a burial mound, but only for a short time. It contains the remains of about 300 people, some of whom were buried between layers of shells. The reason for this practice is unknown, but it may have been related to status or ritual changes through the years. Mound H is a platform mound. It is a rectangular mound of earth and shells that was used as a ceremonial platform where the leaders or priests performed rituals and addressed large groups of people, possibly thousands. This low flat mound is unique and one of the best preserved. The people of Crystal River made tools and fine crafts mostly from local resources, but also used exotic materials like copper and quartz crystals. People traded for these items from as far away as the Midwest in exchange for valuable shells native to the coast. Archaeologists think of this as a village where people not only lived, but mostly as a place where outside visitors came to trade goods and information, or take part in communal projects and ceremonies. The Crystal River culture was influenced by the Hopewell Culture, a widespread network of mound-building societies that spanned from the Great Lakes to the Gulf Coast. The Hopewell Culture facilitated the exchange of goods, ideas, and rituals among different regions and peoples. The Crystal River culture participated in this exchange by trading shells, fish, and pottery for copper, mica, and stone from distant places. At this site, there were these large carved marker stones called Steala. Steala are often found in Caribbean or Central American sites, so it is unusual to find them in Florida. Some scientists think they may have been used as a solar calendar to show the change of seasons. There are 2 of them to look at along the trail. The Crystal River culture was also influenced by the Mississippian culture, another network of mound-building societies that emerged after the Hopewell culture declined. The Mississippian culture was characterized by the development of large, complex, and hierarchical societies that had political and religious leaders, social classes, and urban centers. The Crystal River culture adopted some of these features, such as the construction of temple mounds, the use of shell-tempered pottery, and the worship of the sun. The Crystal River culture was not a unified or homogeneous group, but rather a collection of local communities that shared some cultural traits and practices. The people who lived at the Crystal River site were probably part of a chiefdom, a political organization that consisted of several villages under the authority of a single leader. The leader, or chief, was likely a hereditary position that was based on kinship, wealth, and prestige. The chief was responsible for maintaining the social order, organizing the ceremonies, and overseeing the trade and tribute. The chief also had access to the sacred objects and spaces, such as the temple mound and the burial mounds. The people who lived at the Crystal River site were also part of a larger cultural and linguistic group known as the Muscogee or Creek. The Muscogee were a confederation of tribes that spoke related languages and occupied a vast territory that stretched from Georgia to Alabama and Florida. The Muscogee were known for their resistance to European colonization and their involvement in the American Revolution and the War of 1812. The Muscogee were eventually forced to relocate to Oklahoma in the 1830s, where they still live today. Over 4 years ago, I started my ancient Native American playlist with you, Gabrielle, at a site right outside of Memphis, Tennessee near T.O. Fuller State Park. I said in that video that I was interested in your Muscogee Creek ancestry and that I would research places to take you to. I am from Oklahoma, and I can tell you one thing about that. Native American women are some of the most beautiful women on planet Earth. And Oklahoma is Native America, which is another story in itself. Subscribe and binge the Native American playlist after this video. And at this point, you might as well click that thumbs up button because that will give YouTube a sign that someone else might like this video too. Speaking of like, should be LOVE tattooed on us. I miss you, babes.